Yeah, that's how they feel. And what it looks like is he's trying to trip the kids. So the adults went to him and said, stop trying to trip the kids. He says, I'm not trying to trip the kids. He said, I saw you. You're trying to trip the kids. Stop tripping the kids. He gets in trouble, and I learn about 2 days later, and I know this kid. He's got a beautiful, tender heart. I thought, there's no way this kid was trying to trip kids, though his behavior looked like it. I sat down beside him, and I said, hey, I know you weren't trying to trip the kids. Tell me, what were you thinking about? So I went with that curiosity, and I just asked him, what were you thinking about? And when I said to him that I know he wasn't trying to trip the kids, it was the first time in the conversation that he turns and he looks up at me with wide eyes. Otherwise, he kept his head down until that point. And when I asked him, what were you thinking about? He told me, well, I was watching the crack on the floor, and there's this black line, and the kids would step on the black line, but they never stepped on the crack. So I wondered if they'd step on my legs if I put my legs on the crack.
That's awesome.
Isn't that great? True story. True story.
Love that.
But this is how kids think. This is how they wonder.
Yes.
They wonder not what we think. Their mind, they are not thinking what we think. And that is the biggest thing I think that I see parents make a mistake of. Thinking your child thinks like you. They don't.
Gosh, it's true. Yeah.
So if we can get into that space of curiosity, we can then earn the trust to be able to go in with those why questions. Why did you do that? What were you actually thinking? Tell me what was going on in your mind. And we will find out some magnificent things. And I've got all kinds of stories about that kind of behavior that is very different than what I would expect. And they had something very valid, but just not really intelligent maybe at the time, like for being able to see a consequence that might happen if.
It was a very narrow laser focus instead of a wider focus. Yeah.
Children don't think what happens beyond.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so for us to judge that they had intention for the what happens beyond is beyond the kid.
Right. Exactly. That's such a good reminder for us, because I know I fall into that as well. Like, why didn't you just think of that? And he's like, even at 17, he's like, I just didn't think about it. I don't know. And so it just didn't even occur to me. I don't know.
But and you and I have places like that in our lives that it's like that. Like if
Absolutely.
like my car, I made a noise. I didn't think about why or what or whatever. And then a little bit later, my son-in-law's riding with me. He goes, didn't you pay attention to that? I'm like, I heard it, but I was busy. I just was thinking about other things.
Exactly.
And then, we all are still like that in some areas.
Absolutely. For sure. Especially if it's not in our area of focus or our area of expertise or something that we're not used to doing as part of our daily happenings. And that's exactly what happens when my son says that. He's like, it just wasn't part of my job. So I didn't think about that being, I'm like, why are these dishes still here? But I totally get it. That's so amazing.